All right, I've started the recording. So, good morning and welcome to the weekly opening bell Tuesday edition. As always, when the market's closed on Monday, we will kick it one day. It's still the open. We had our market posture on Sunday. We take Monday off. Now we're meeting Tuesday for the weekly opening bell. Okay. If you didn't see it, we'll talk about those numbers. Um, what our final score was, or at least what my final score was, and you can compare it or review it and validate it against your own. Let's dive in. Here are the disclaimers, as always. We're not brokers, we're not advisors, we don't give guidance, we don't give recommendation, yada yada. Here is the agenda. Number one, opening futures and news. What's going on? Well, we know this week is it's light. We have our normal crack that the market has to get its fix of, which is anything Fed related. We've got to go get a fix, including and building to the final report on Friday, which will be the inflation data, the PCE data, which is the Fed's most favored. Um, Memorial Day dress up. Okay. Oh, and there I said it. I said he would come. Bob is here. We can get started. Thank you for sharing, Stephen. It looks immaculate. Good morning to you, Bob. Good to see you. We'll look at the economic calendar. We'll talk about what our posture is. Um, if you carried any trades, are you carrying anything? Are you still in? Out of curiosity? Me either, Sandy. I'm looking for new trades this week. So I'm that's directional. I am carrying some Bobless no more. I am carrying some uh, time spreads. Some time spreads. So that are still on. Press says still has a SPY hedge on. Got it. That makes some sense. I mean, we're still in kind of an interesting and I would say still somewhat precarious situation. I just don't think we're out of the woods yet, but I am more bullish, so there's that. We'll look at today's opening range. We'll look at the shopping week, or excuse me, this week's shopping list. It's long. There's a lot of good looking things. And this week we are working on, I believe we're on analytics. Are we on section 7? Um, no, we're on section 6. What section are we on? Um, we're still on record keeping. Section 6 record keeping. Yes. Thank you for keeping me honest. And yes, thank you for noticing, Stephen. He said I saw the updates you put on Discord. The resources and download sections are complete. They have everything that you would have gone from the emails, you can get right from Discord now. So if you're looking to access any of our resources, which would be links that we use, you would go to resources. If you're looking to download something, well, obviously that's in the download. So, and that includes the content library. So everything from the welcome doc and the content library is accessible from here, which means it's all available inside of Discord now. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Futures. Futures are up on the S&P, down on the Dow, up on the Nasdaq, and kind of a good jump, 0.5% on the Russell. The Russell continues to, I would say, overperform expectations. U.S. futures mark time. I don't know what that means. Mark time as focus turns to inflation data. Yeah, but not for a little while. That's a weird headline. You can see they don't have much to talk about. Oil is up 1.5% though. Jeez. T-Mobile to buy most of U.S. Cellular in $4.5 billion deal. Okay. Yeah. Well, so these futures look to continue bullishness as we have seen bullishness. Let's pop up our posture. My posture stayed the same. I stayed exactly the same. So we had good morning, Lisa. No problem. It starts when you get here for you, so you're right on time. We had 1, 2, 3 weeks of improvements, and then it's stayed the same. I mean, it's a 5. 5's a good score. It's a 5. We should be looking for bullish trades in this current window of trading, which I am. But I do still find I have just something still kind of scratching the back of my mind. It's just a little itch. So major market is a 1. You know what's funny, Sandy, is I actually, if you listened to the recording, I said, if Sandy was here, she would probably try to convince me to make this a 1. So the but yeah, look, it does look bullish, right? The S&P, or excuse me, the Russell looks strong. There's money flowing into the small caps. We can't argue with that. So yeah, I think we're right to be bullish. This does look and feel stronger than the September October timeframe that we have compared it to several times. I think that's empirical at this point. Okay, so we have a good amount of validation from others who see similar things. All right, that's our posture. What else is going on? There's not a lot of news. Here's the economic calendar. So we've got 3 minutes before the market opens. Obviously, yesterday the market was closed. Today, we have a little bit of Fed speak. Mester and Bowman in Japan. I don't know what's going on there. I think they already spoke this morning, so whatever they said was said. Neil Kashkari, who does have a bit of a reputation for shaking the market. Home price index expected to be up. And then we have Lisa Cook, Mary Daly. No Goolsby. Tomorrow, Fed Speak and Beige Book, which is Fed and Fed Speak. So still no Goolsby. Thursday, jobless claims, GDP. Looks like it's being revised down. Still positive, but slowing down quite a bit, and more Fed Speak. Friday, income spending PCE. So it's a lot of speak, and then it's the big report. I don't think the speak's going to do anything, even the Beige Book. We're looking for something more substantial, which is what is the numbers leading to the data tell us. um, and that's what we'll see Friday. Expected to stay the same everywhere. So we're expecting income to drop a titch. We're expecting spending to drop a titch. We would love to see income stay the same and spending drop. That would be helpful. And then you can see PCE is supposed to stay the same, drop one tick, stay the same. So if we get an increase at a time when we were supposed to see it stay the same, the Fed's ability to cut rates would only be facilitated at that point by economic weakness, where they have to do it, and we're not there. So that means that I think we would see the can get kicked down the road. Speaking of the can, there's the opening bell. That's not the can. So here's the can. You can see we opened up. We're up 0.15, but we'll see how long that lasts. Stochastics is coming down. So, I mean, as of right now, this feels and looks like it's in a consolidation. But it didn't pull back much. We had this one gap day and then it's turned back. Is it going to continue? Is it going to test back down in this area? Or is it even going to try to go even further still? So yeah, we'll give this a minute, see what the opening range looks and feels like. Let's go look at a couple of other things relevant to us this morning. FedWatch. So we are 2 weeks from tomorrow. Our next meeting has absolutely zero, and in fact, you'll notice that the only fraction of a probability that exists outside of interest rates staying the same would be for interest rates to go up slightly. When we go to July 31st, 6 weeks later, we're holding pretty steady at a 10-1 against. There's a small contingency of hope for a cut. Unlikely. And there's still that little probability around the other side. Still not till September. And right now in September, it's even money, right? 50-50. Okay. After that, you've only got 2 more meetings, November and December. November is now the first target date with a probability higher than not of an interest rate cut. Yeah, we just keep kicking the can down the road. I'll tell you what, I've had a few people like, oh, they're not going to do it this year. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Oh, I'm going to have to eat my words. It's looking increasingly like they may not. Okay. Let's go through our watch list. That's what we need to see. What do we think? Oh no, let's go. We talked about the posture. Postures stay the same. We're still bullish. Let's talk about the watch list. What's setting up for us? Apple. Apple is, there's an argument here. It dropped on a consolidation. Then it's stabilized, and now it's starting to turn the other way. You can see your stochastics is crossing. Heiken Nashi, that's your first. That's a candle right there that looks like, hey, this could be the start of the next the next move. Um, if you're bullish, we are. If you think technology is going to lead and it is moved back in place, you're looking for Apple to be a leader too, and it looks like it's trying to answer the call. Very interesting. Okay. Pot stock. That's close, but not quite yet. I mean, the stochastics is turning, but your candle is just maybe I'd want a little bit more, but that's close. So tech stock, consumer stock. Here's AIG Financial setting up, but not quite there. AMD. AMD. Um, yeah, here's what I would say. I've been keeping this on my list. It's back above the 50. It represents more bullishness, but I would say if you like chips, there's better. So I don't think we need to settle. Amazon, oof, still viable. I mean, it's sitting at the 50, higher low. AXP. AXP is setting up. If you like it, it is knocking on the door. Stochastics is pinching. We've got signals. I'm not a Boeing fan, but we'll keep watching it just to see. But it does look like it's trying to make a higher low. Bank of America looks a little overextended right now. Citigroup setting up. So financials has setups for us, I would say. Yeah, financials has setups. Caterpillar. I would say Caterpillar setting up. Where's that? Industrials. Back above the 50. Pulling back. Now it's finding some old support at the 50. At the old resistance. I do feel like things are... Oh, there it is. There's our 50 for 1 split down there. CNM, another financial setting up, looks good, but you have earnings. So I think you have better financials. I think AXP and I would say probably Citi are my favorite too. Costco overextended, about to see some earnings. Oh, we forgot oil. Oil's down, but oil's up today. CRBG looks bullish. If you've been trading in financials, which I would assume you have, you're no reason to think you wouldn't keep doing that. Delta. Okay. It gave a cross, and so some people may already be in this. I would say it's still viable for a setup. Maybe you wait for the Heiken Ashi, but Delta consumer looks good. The Dow sitting on the 50 looks okay. That was a materials play, but it's kind of iffy. Bitcoin pulling back, possibly setting up. Any Bitcoin dabblers? I thought one of you was a hodler with some Bitcoin and just bought some and held on to it. I could be wrong. GE, well, we'll see if we can go. If you missed it, well, you didn't miss it. I caught it and took the loss and then took it again. And now we're up here, and now let's see. What does it do? What does it do? GLD's flat. Google. That's tough. I like Google. I thought Google was going to pull back more. I think we have to start thinking about Google, right? I tell you, there's setups here this week. KBH, possible. Meta. I would imagine you have exactly what you're looking for here. This is your last chance if you're going to take it. First white, this is your first momentum candle. I can put a stop below here. That's my trade. Microsoft, still consolidating. Micron, overextended. It actually looks like it's trying to turn, but I don't know. That's a tough one to try to trade. Netflix. Looks like it needs to pull back a little bit. Nvidia. Oh my goodness gracious! Look at Nvidia go. Look at Nvidia go. It was like, did you just try to restrain me into a lower channel? Because I demand to be in this higher channel. Ooh. Getting ready for that 10-to-1 split. Nvidia will become a $110 stock. People will love it even more. Same with Chipotle. I think both of these splits are going to go over well. It's going to increase and promote more trading. RTX tried to go. It's a little stalled out. SPY flat for the day. We're now 10 minutes in. Not much going on. TSM a little overextended. UUP. Look at the dollar. The dollar. We would love to see the dollar break below this level here. 28.5. We would love to see the dollar break back below 28.5. That will help put the cap on and let us really feel comfortable about this bull run. If it sits between 28.5 and 29, it's a little more iffy. If it breaks back above 29, if it breaks back above 29, then let's reinstate higher levels of control. Actually, not even 29. If it breaks back above, let's put it at 28.75, above these highs here, 28.80. If it breaks back above this to the upside, I'm going to say, ooh, careful. Careful out there. The VIX. The VIX is on an upswing, but not very much. Yeah, so I'm more bullish. Not more bullish. I'm bullish. We're sitting at a 5. We've regained a good amount. I mean, look at the VIX. The VIX is showing no concern whatsoever. It looks great. Now, of course, we know that if it breaks, there's concern could come in at any given time, and who knows what it looks like if we start to see more sideways action coming our way. So, yeah. Okay. I would say our watch list, though, looks good. We've got setups in 4 to 5 different sectors again. Where are you most likely to put on? I got to tell you guys, I am so prone to financials right now. I would say since the lows in end of October, November, right? Since we bottomed there, I would say and you should look and see. But I would say have done better in financials than any other sector. Whereas if you go back to 2020, whatever last year was, 2023, I would say by far technology and communications were my best sectors, with technology definitely leading the way. But in this year, I would say my strongest sector has been financials. Um, Thoughts? Where are you paying attention to where you're trading? Let me know. What sectors you're more prone to right now, or maybe that you're avoiding. Like for example, I recognize there's been some strength in healthcare. But you guys know I'm not a big healthcare fan. I can't trade healthcare. Not healthcare. Okay. Um, let's see. Where was I? It's quiet out. You guys are quiet this morning. It feels like a Monday, right? Feels like a Monday. Wells Fargo looks bullish. Put it on the list again. I like AXP. I like Citi. I like CRBG. I like WFC. Well, there's some good ones. Waste management's off the list. I keep watching it and I don't know why. It's off the list. It's off. I kicked it. Walmart still on the list, but it's overextended and we need a pullback. So you can see here materials. Materials, I would say, are viable. So it's like where in materials. But I feel like that's more of a defensive play, and right now I'm not looking for that as much. Communication services looks good, but overextended. Now here's the deal. I think Meta looks tradable, although it's now pulling back. And well, let's take a look. What is Meta doing? Is it pulling back now? See, it's tough. I'm gonna wait. And Google, yeah, let's wait. I think Google's the one I like better right now. I'm gonna pick Google as my horse, but I'm waiting still because you can see, and this is why we don't trade in the first 15 minutes because this looks like it could still pull back. I actually think it looks better down here at 170. This is gonna keep coming up. If this comes down, 170 might be a nice little intersection. No reason for us to be impatient, right? No reason. I think Google's definitely the communication services front runner. Energy, okay, we're below the 50. Some pressure has come out. Here's financials. Financials look amazing, right? That right there, that's just you know the, the smell of apple pie coming from the window, and my grandmother with her apron on, and I know there's something delicious inside. That's how welcoming that signal is right there. Her smiles on her face, and she's like, "Come on, Scott, come get some fresh food." That's how welcoming this signal is. That's what I think of. Financials, so welcoming. Industrials, half a step behind. Just a half a step. Technology, it's strong, right? It's strong. We can't argue that the strength has come back into technology, but it does look a little iffy, choppy, a little overextended. But yeah, let's make sure that we are comfortable with the signals that we're seeing coming out of that. Staples looks bullish. It looks bullish. Um, I like Walmart, but I'm waiting for Walmart to pull back. Maybe Staples is where I would need to do a search. Maybe that's what we'll do tonight. I was thinking what we should do tonight. Maybe tonight we're gonna do searching and watch list building, and that way we can just get our watch list maintained and up to date. I've been thinking about that just to make sure everyone's comfortable. It's basic, but always worth a repeat. Um, I see it. So when the split, does that mean they get an increase in their ownership? Um, they get an increase in their number of shares, but they have maintenance. They own the same amount, but they have a higher number of shares. Yes, yes. Then that if that's what you meant, you're exactly right. So they won't dilute shareholder equity for those. Otherwise, they won't get approved. It's like Steven said. It's very much psychological because that's the thing when they say make it more affordable. It's like if you see a $3,000 stock, you're like, oh, I can't afford that. But if you see a $60 stock, you're like, oh yes, I can definitely afford that. Well, what you're buying for 60 is 1/50th of what you were gonna buy for 3,000. So you're buying the same thing. Could you theoretically buy a fractional share? Yes, these days you can. It's not like it was back in the day where it's like, when I started, they're like odd lots is like, oh, if anyone buys in odd lots, that's a no one even talks about odd lot because you can buy fractional shares now. Brokers like, you want 0.05 shares? Hell yes, I'll get you that, whatever you need. um, but the price will rise anyway because of the competition. I think, I mean, a lot of, right now it's just simply they want to maintain the current trend, right? That's what they want to do. They want to maintain the current trend. And as it starts to hit a quote unquote unaffordability perception because it's expensive, they know that they can reinvigorate it with a split. Doesn't always work, but it has pretty good effects. Actually, 2 to 3 to 1 is usual. 10 to 1 is pretty big, and 50 to 1 is way unusual. And like Steven said, reverse splits are usually because a company's getting delisted, and they're because if your stock falls below a certain price, they're going to delist you, and so they artificially inflate the price by doing a reverse split. That's usually like if you're owning stock that's reverse splitting, you've already held on too long. XLP looks fantastic. It does. So if nothing else, I might look at the ETF, right? Utilities still looks bullish, and you can't argue with that and what we see with that level of defensiveness. Lastly, healthcare. If it holds the 50, that's another one that looks bullish. I'm not interested in trading that. That's not my forte. Okay, lastly, we are working on section 6 of our trading plan, which is basically fill out your log. Fill out your log. If you do, you get magic data like this. And if you went through, we had a session. We're going to do another session on this later as I continue to refine this. But this is kind of shows how we will have data, what we can do with that data, etc. So this week you are working on, where's my Word document? Sample trading plan. We are working on record keeping. So fill out your trade log. You might say, what's that trade journal, Scott? What is that trade journal? That trade journal is column R. If something happened about a trade that you may want to reference later, write it down. That's it. That's your journal. You might decide to keep an observation log at some point. That's something that I've done in the past where I'm like, oh, this is what I think about the market. So that later on when you look backwards, you can go look and say, oh, yeah, I made some comments that this was a weird market, or I made some comments that this was a frustrating market because of the Fed, blah blah blah, whatever it is. So something to think about. Schedule and Discord. Dun, dun. So here is what's going on. Look at everyone's good time to introduce the 3-exit log. Always a good time. Events. So tonight we do have we do have Market Watch Foundations, and we'll talk about some searching, and then we'll meet again tomorrow for our midweek check-in because it's already the middle of the week tomorrow. So I will see you for that. But if you come over here to your Market Watch group resources, there is the link to the content library where you can find all of our videos. There is a link to our YouTube channel where you can also find all of our videos, and you can like and subscribe. Here is a link for Market Posture. It's out of date. I got to get in there. No, this is just to download a blank copy. No, what is this? Link for Market Posture. Oh no, sorry. These are resources. These are links. Link for Market Posture. This is to get to the major market analysis. This is to get to the sector rotation. This is to get to a bullish search. This is the economic calendar. This is the FedWatch interest rate tool, the heat map, and I put Yahoo Finance on here as well. So anything that we use for links, you can just come in here and find those links. If you go to downloads, you actually aren't allowed to put messages in these rooms. These are just static places for links. So you can come download the trading plan outline, a posture log, a trade log for stocks, trade log for options. I will put the 3-exit on here that Stephen is talking about. The top 10 trading mistakes, historical market posture, which needs to be updated, and our current watch list, which needs to be updated. I recognize that. So anything that has to do with, you can just find it. You can just come in here and be like, let's get started. Let's get a trading plan. Let's get a log. Let's get going. All the videos. It's all here. It's all at your fingertips. Okay. Questions, comments, or concerns? How are we feeling about everything? Let me go back to where I was. You guys like it? Good. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Bob. Feeling very good. Excellent. I feel like we're on. I feel like we've got our pulse on the market. Everything's good. I will see you guys tonight. Please make sure to join me because it's going to be good, and we'll update our watch list. We'll do some searching. I'll make sure to post a recording. It's good to see everybody. I'm glad we had the crew here. I hope to see you tonight. As always, happy trading.